igama lami Khulekanisizwe. I'm doing my third year in fine arts this year, and I'm basically an installer, a sculptor, a painter, a photographer. Yeah, I explore a lot of mediums that actually try and open the idea that I want to elaborate in. Yeah. So in a sense, I do think one should express themselves with what they understand. So a language is like being a god when you need to express thyself when creating or actually expressing yourself. So in a sense that umhlaba wezilwane nabantu is my understanding of where I find myself in existence. And I didn't think it's a barrier that someone doesn't understand this is, but it can be also learning and unlearning other concepts of what we already know as other languages. So I'm just opening a platform where one can express thyself and like actually elaborate more if you need explanation about what does it mean, where is it coming from. Yeah, and that's the reason I didn't translate what it means. But yeah, it's like open for conversation more than just being stagnant as it is with it's a world of animals and humans in which we are created. So man, in that sense, before it's also another thing. What if I want to know why Sure. Yeah, and also being extraterrestrial beings, what does it mean if you're a human being and we found animals in this place? So there's a lot of conversations I can explore in terms of what the topic or theme of the work meant.
Yeah. Okay. So like I was there and I experienced the exhibition itself. Like there were those moments where like you shifted a lot of times where you would I don't know, you would blow. What is the
instrument is right here. It's called the didgeridoo.
Okay.
So it's a wind instrument. You just blow in it and then it ripples a sound, a vibration.
Sure.
So in a sense that maybe I can demonstrate how it's played.
Yeah.
So that's how you blow into the instrument.
Okay.
And that's how it produces sound. So yeah, it's Australian, it's indigenous to Australia.
Okay.
But a lot of the stuff I do think it's instruments that were found or that were made beforehand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like marimba, djembe, didgeridoo. Maybe it's for this instrument.
Yeah.
But it was also like opening platforms of what instruments we can play or we used to play in the music forum. How big can it be? So now me exploring this medium was really, I must say, enlightening and awakening in terms of what I can actually produce. How do I generate sound from what I'm thinking, and actually express it through a sound more than everybody saying something or like acting upon it, but now actually playing it.
Sure.
So one thing I also learned with this instrument, there's no mistake you can make.
Okay.
As long as the viewer doesn't know that you're making a mistake. So in a sense, even when I was playing during the performance, there were a lot of mistakes that I found with like maybe I'm not blowing too tight to the instrument because you must keep it tight on your lips, then you have the same sound or the same consistency. Then if you miss it, it also sounds different.
Sure.
So even if you can use that as part of playing, it should be very mind-opening or like create atmosphere or any sort.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how does it relate to like your exhibition itself? Like
what, the instrument?
Yeah, the instrument.
Yeah, as I said, it's like exploring other instruments that we already have.
Okay.
More than also using, because even instrument is like a voice.
Sure.
So me having a voice is like now putting it on a different medium. Yeah. If I can sing, can I sing with this instrument? If I can dance, can I dance with this instrument?
Right.
So even like opening a manyama channel, there's a guitar, there's a marimba, because the marimba ngicabangile, but it was like off what I expected. Like when funama wind instrument, which is like something that you produce yourself from your voice or from your chords, or from your breathing, which is also like a respiration practice where you breathe. So my breathing for this instrument, maybe is the circular breathing, where you can play it and don't stop. So but you breathe when you breathe in when you.
It sounds difficult.
It is, because that makes a so when you play, then you have to breathe in when you open your mouth. So that's the only time your nose can breathe in air. So now that's circular breathing, because now I'm blowing and then breathing, it's hectic stuff.
Yeah, no, I can.
But yeah, it was just like actually exploring other instruments that we have around.
Okay. Thing that happened, like I said, the shift of the sounds and the performance and silence. I really want to understand, was it like something that was part of the performance itself, and if it was, then why? What's the significance of the shift of silence and performance?
I just have to say, in art, everything has a reason until you don't make it have a reason. So in a sense that the silence had a reason for like to calm people to like actually focus what's happening. Whatever you hear, you must like pay attention to it. And then the darkness, because Mangena, it was actually dark. So there was like planned prior to the performance where I wanted to create an atmosphere where now everyone is like the same, or like you can't actually see what's happening, but you can feel what's happening. So that atmosphere of darkness and silence, it played a huge role in terms of grabbing your attention and now wanting to know what's going to happen next. And as much as I also said during the performance that it's important to be in a silent space where you come back to yourself, come back to thinking, and in the sense of darkness now, it's where things came. What came out of darkness was light. And eventually there was light afterwards where the choruses came and performed. And that whole gesture of music playing as the choreographed music that's to the tempo. While I'm also playing, that's like another frequency added on top of that sound. So all in all, I do think that explanation to how the atmosphere was playing around the people, it had to, like, I wanted you to simmer down and ground yourself, and then like usithole kwenye indawo more than what you expect to find yourself in, you know. Change atmosphere, that's the actual goal. Something engathi angaqhuma hops here, or like, you know, that type of thing. I think
because really like the shift there of the silence where you play and the silence, I started looking around and seeing how people act to the silence.
It's really fundamental.
It was, because like people, they started paying more attention to what's happening,
what's gonna happen
exactly. So I think it was really like a beautiful thing that you and like it also adds to, like, I loved how like your performers, the ladies, the producers, like how they really improvised like the space itself with people around and being able to, you know, like use you know, it was so really beautiful, man. Like, I really loved it, like how they maneuver. But also, like, I have a question in terms of the food.
The food.
Okay.
So in Zalabantu is actually, I don't know what to call it, maybe a production or a team or a platform where I want to open this film, this photography. So in Zalabantu is like basically Indian Funo Uizala. So among Zalabantu, I mean Angkon Zala. But the concept of like consciously reawareing people, they know such information is like giving birth to them again. So I did say Uzalabantu Gabusha is the concept. But then in the sense of Amakodes now, yes, So manje I was still in Zalabantu. So manje ukuzala abantu kabusha is like a fruitful season where a fruit or a tree has grown that it produces fruit. So in that fruit that it has produced, it's like giving fresh or like new start, or like what one spring is like the beginning of a new year. It's like the beginning. So I'm a fruit in the sense of ending a way. I do think fruits open to like fruitfulness. Man, I don't know how to best explain it, but it was a gift that nature bears from abantu. Ukuthi umhlaba izilwane nabantu, then yini esitholayo emhlabeni ukuthi sibe ngabantu. So from nature what we receive. So the fruit is like opening to a conversation about what we should be consuming as godly people. Yeah, so now kubalulekile ukuthi we should know our dietary requirements and how we should like activate our alkaline body, and then like meditating to knowing the system yakho all in all, not consuming izinto ongazazi, even though uzazi which you're exposed to, but then now knowing what is like actually organic or what's GMO in terms of your system. Yeah, so the fruits were like a gift, actually a gift of Inzanabantu. Yeah, we are starting again, or like we are a food. It's a food. I can't just say, but it's like bearing fruit, man. Like it's like prosperity, more life. Yeah, that type of stuff. Yeah.
So with the traditional performance, traditional Zulu performance of the young ladies.
Oh, Amachiji.
Yeah. So I would really love to understand what does it mean in Zulu culture, and how does it relate to your practice?
So Amachiji are very. Shoot Amachiji are goddesses, like full on goddesses. They are holy goddesses. In terms of purity, in terms of nurturing, in terms of beauty, in terms of prosperity. It's the same as the food. Yeah, Amachiji are almost the same concept of food, where we can indulge into finding the seeds and eating the flesh. So Amachiji in the performance or in the show, they were more like expanding the time you can gonna be there. So it's like a performance, to have like some cultural background playing in front of your eyes, in a sense. What then do we know about these goddesses? What is the system? What is the system telling us about them? How do we engage the Amachiji? What is Gigi? And in which we didn't actually engage in that sense, but they were celebrating Ubona. They are holy goddessness, deities. So I think in the Balegile from that experience was to experience their physique and their energy and their voices, and like Ubakon, and then it's not about being Zulu per se, but it's about exploring culture and opening up to what is there and what is actual truth. In terms of our belief system to Sibopi, and how we have like almost forgotten, but trying to remind us about Sigokona. So man, how do we get to that? How do they get back to us with what information they have? Because these girls go to initiations, like no practice now are like far away from what is in the city or what we perceive to know about Besfazane and their role in our community. Because I do think about Besfazane, the feminists, they have a different role that they want to play with men or against men, or knowing what a man should be, than Ichiji, and respectfully knowing what a man is to them. So Nalo Kugutmaji, like what is the barrier of a woman and what is the barrier of a man, and how do we best play our roles? Not to actually configure and then fight. No, we're not the same.
Yeah.
No, I want feminism and patriarchy. Hey, okay, that's a different topic from what I'm trying to get to. But yeah, we celebrating. We're celebrating unyaka omusha, then the beginning of usuka unyaka omusha, amafuthi, and the ending of the year. So 25 August is like really Ncwaba is the month. Ncwaba ngesiZulu bathi Ncwaba is the is a season that ends like from umlilo, from it's like it's the end, yeah, Ncwaba, so it's like must go back to end. Everything that has happened during the year must go back to end.
Okay.
And then mase uyintwasahlobo, which is spring, kambeni September ubani September. I forgot from September, but now it's like from what happened. So nakhona 25 August to 25 September is that gauging of start. We are celebrating the end of the year into the new year as we are all together on the August. Yeah.
So tell us about like one of your artworks, the chickens fighting, or like is that an owl or something?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, maybe can you please explain like in relation to your practice as a whole and like the performances of the.
So only the chicken and the owl, or everything that was in the space?
Yeah, we can go for everything.
Oh, okay, cool. But I wanted those two. They were just works that held space more than like being something special about them. Sure. But all in all, the work that was the focal point for me was charisma and the tree of life. Okay. The ones that were far closer to the speakers. Okay. So I'm still gonna grow the idea. I was thinking even like during the recess, or even now, would see like the goddess has to meet with the tree of life. Charisma and tree of life have to be one. As much as the symbol the anchor. When you are born in anchor, it's the womb, it's the purity, it's the pure. Then the cross. Sure. It's like a tree, and then there's this thing which is the womb, which is the womb. So manje ngifuna ukuyihlanganisa and like, because on my research basically I'm going back to what I did first year. I did a cross first year. Yeah, I went to cross, performed, I also broke it down and stuff. And then now it's this thing I'm creating on a smart tree of life, which is an installation. So to speak about the installation, I do think it was well executed in terms of the entrance, the size, everything was like really executed from my perspective. Because manje, the tree embodies even the crown. I don't know if you remember the crown. Yeah. So all of the ground and the stones was like it's back. Yeah. It's like stepping into these rocks, you know. And then Nukoresma is chilling right there with the Africans facing upside down. Yeah. And also to like re-idealize so the cardinal points, how do they matter to our direction and how do they matter with like land, and the ontology, epistemology, and breaking those things down in terms of understanding our actual knowledge. So much that work for me, it did open a lot of conversations in terms of understanding what is and what was. And in that sense, what was is what is. What is within is what is without. I'm not saying as if I know, but I'm also growing to know in wisdom. Sure. Because I want to reaffirm them and re-explain them. This is it. And in terms of science, how does it go back? Yeah. In terms of spirituality, how does it go back? Sure. And how do we then learn informal information to actually recognize formal education? So there's in terms of everything, man, that I'm trying to break down. But those works are the ones that actually stand out for me. Yeah, and to explain a bit about it, it's just the creation story where and that's not a coincidence. It's actually what I was explaining about the Ankh. The women are on top of what men stand for. in a structure of a system, women should lead the way we know the world. Because yibo bazi imithi, yibo bazi ukuzala, yibo bazi ukudla, so yibo babesitshela izinto ngayo yonke. Thina bekumele sibalandele sibasele strengthen the family. We were the warriors of any type of war. We were the builders of any type of house. Even now, we are the system who build things, and the women who are not really leading, but they are coming back into leading when we speak about feminism and stuff. And I do think women should rule the world or lead the world as being leaders. And this patriarchy bullshit should end anyhow. So yeah, man. And then my goddess ma, she was more subtle. She wasn't actually playing her role.
Sure.
It was more about the street she's standing and like reaffirming its position. Which man. Amadoda mela sukuma ame azi ukuthi amele ini more than ukuthi my sisi yakela phansi gender-based violence, all these stories. So it's like ubi ukuzwa ukuthi umubi until uzamukela ukuthi akukho.
Sure.
So you shouldn't actually allow yourself ukuthi you are pinpointed and told what you are. You should actually aspire and stand for what you stand for as a man in the essence of your role.
Sure. And
then now as a woman, I mean, she knows the role of a man.
Sure.
She doesn't have to act as if a man is supposed to be that way. So yena uzohlala nje la eduze wakho akusenge ukuthi ube indoda.
Sure.
And akusiko ukuphikisana nokuthi umuntu esifazane uyini wena ube yini.
Sure.
Is the relationship now with him. How do you know ukuthi mina umuntu esifazane? How do I know ukuthi umuntu esilisa? And how do we then stand for each other? Not to pinpoint man, what? Oh, we see eye to eye. We share eyes with them to like, yeah. We need to open the conscious deity understanding. Yeah, with my, as much as we are gods. I want to speak about the Passion of Christ, but it's something else, yeah. But with my, what I saw in that movie, it's how Jesus is like the actual God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like the child of God.
Sure.
But it's not supposed to show his powers. So when as a black man watching Jesus, I'm shy, what hey, when we win. But we have actually the powers to be this thing that you are brought for. I don't know, man, how that actually plays a role in terms of now acknowledging yourself. Yeah, because it takes you away with magic. You actually have to, as much as the tree of life is standing and perceiving itself to be God or a giant. An ancient person. Deity, yeah.
Sure. Do you have anything that you want to add or any last words?
Oh, hey, something to add is the during the performance. The Gunale party where I was anointed with the green pigment. So that's earth anyway. Pigment the ends with green. Paint, nothing too hectic. So it's an ancient method of actually connecting a child to Mhla, connecting to the powers of water, the powers of fire, the powers of wind, and the powers of earth. So ingane mayizalo iyabhuqwa unosiyo ukuthi so mawubhuqwa when your mother gives birth to you in an ancient information. Ukuthi umama uya now esizibeni. Isiziba is a riverbank, is where the water and the earth meet, and the water that is flowing, which is time and power and space. So umama mayebhuqa. So your placenta is thrown into the river or is planted under a tree, in which the doctors take it away or whatever they do to the issue, which is a devastating issue to know about human anatomy. But manje umama mayekuzala azobhuqa. Sho ukuthi ukupha amandla omhlaba. Wena umhlaba umhlaba uwuwe. As much as we are the sun is you. As much as we are the moon is you. All these elements are now wrapped around you and connected as you are, as essence of the universe. So manje mina mangibhuqa amakhosazana lapha ayisithupha, there were 6 goddesses, which is a very, there were 7 actually, 7 goddesses. So now Koloko, it opens a very, the number of goddesses I'm saying, energy is on a different plane, because we also have like 7 elements, which is 6. 7 is invisible, but it's lucky. Hey, there's a part, I'm not going to explain this if I know, but I'm learning this thing. And so Pukwa is that system now, which many scissors with this as much as we are like green. So we have green veins in our diet. So we should be consuming green stuff, not any of these meat diet. And that came from home, I know, to eat meat. Yeah, it came from home. It wasn't something in the sea, I want to say. No, it was more fermented.
Sure.
Yeah, or we go meat, it dries up, it's built on, and then that's a different way of making it. But to cooking meat is something colonial, I can say. Yeah, to our diet, to our lifestyle, to our longevity. But yeah, is one thing I can explain in terms of explaining the performance and how it ended.
Ngiyabonga njayami.
Bonge mina mfowethu ithuba lihle ukuthi umuntu asichaze phakathi kwabanye abantu. And kuhle ukuthi omunye umuntu akuze futhi. And uma ekuphikisa azi ukuthi wayephikisa.
Sure.
Then we have more conversation. But
Great.
exactly, can you clarify that and then get back to the conversation?
Asibonge baba wami.
Bonge mina.